This video explains how the emoji dichotomous key how it was to be completed. So the first part was being able to use dichotomous keys. The directions tell you to name each smiley face under its picture. So these names were not here originally. You were just seeing the pictures, the emoji icons. You had to go through the key. So let's identify this first one and see how it played out, how you should have used the key. So first, you look at are teeth visible, are teeth not visible? And I can see teeth there, so they're visible. So I go to 2. In 2A, are individual teeth are visible or individual teeth are not visible? I don't see any individual teeth like in this picture. So the individual teeth are not visible. And I go to my next direction there. Individual teeth are not visible, and it says to go to 3. So then I have to decide, does it have whiskers or does it not have whiskers? It does not have whiskers. So I read my next instruction, and there is no more go-tos. In this case, this is smileless traditionalist, right? The traditional smiley face. So again, I can always check to see if I'm right by reading it backwards. Does the smileless traditionalist, does it not have whiskers? Nope, doesn't. Okay, and that's line 3. Go to 3. Are the teeth not visible? Nope. Individual teeth, excuse me. Are individual teeth not visible? No, I don't see any individual teeth. So that's line 2. Go to 2. And are the teeth at least visible? Yes, I can see teeth here versus here. I don't see any teeth, right? So that plays out. So that would mean that smileless traditionalist is the only one of these 2, 4, 6, 8, the only one of these 10 that has those sets of characteristics. Not having whiskers, not having individual teeth visible, but having teeth visible. And so I can go through all of them the same way. We'll do one more. Let's pick this one, Smilus pardius here. It's got party stuff on. Notice the genus Smilus is capitalized. The species name pardius is lowercase. And so teeth visible? No, I don't see any teeth visible. Teeth are not visible. Go to 4. Both eyes are open. No, I don't see eyes open. Both eyes are not open. Go to 8. Has one eye closed? No. Both eyes look to be closed. Does not have one eye closed. Does not having one eye closed means both eyes are closed. And go to 9. And water coming out of eyes. I don't see any water on Smilus pardius. No water coming out of eyes. Yes, that is Smilus pardius. Again, I know what Smilus pardius because the name's there, but these names were not here on your original document. You had to use the key to identify the organism. So the reason you see these names here is, again, because you did the key correctly by identifying. This is how dichotomous keys are used out in the wild. You're walking through the woods, you see a strange plant, you start reading through the identification guides in your book, and it will eventually lead you to a classification based on the physical features of the organism, or in this case, the emoji face. Analysis, the name of the smiles. The genus is not smiley. This is actually wrong. The genus, if you look, they all have the first name Smilus. Okay? And the naming of the organisms follows certain conventions. The names are after the person who discovered it, where the organism was found, or given a name that describes the creature. Which convention was used? They only said the word smiley, so that became their genus. Not exactly, but because these are traditional smiley faces, it is basically a characteristic of the creature, should be your answer here. Okay, but that's close enough. I'd accept that. All right. The last question here, suppose you discovered a new smiley picture to the right. What would you give it? Alienus confucius. Okay, it looks a little confused. I guess you could do that. I more was hoping that you would recognize that all of these circular type emojis all had the genus Smilus, so that you would have kind of followed along there. So really a better answer might have been like Smilus, Alienus, or Alienus, however you want to say it. But nonetheless, that's how that should look. Okay, part 2, you had blank circles, and you had to create, that means actually draw 7 unique smiley faces. Okay, obviously, However you did it's fine. I wasn't really grading you based on your art. I like the fact this person gave them uh, some good naming conventions. They decided to use the genus Smiley instead of Smileless, which is fine. It's your key. You made this one. And then they added names Triangulus, Triangular Eyes, like Cyclopsis, a one-eyed creature, Boxus, Boxy Eyes. Good, great, awesome names. Smiley, Beardus, I like that. There's a beard. Great, excellent. Okay. You then had to take these 7 and make a tree. And this is a really nice tree from what I could tell. Um, yeah. Okay, so smiley faces. The first characteristic has shape for a mouth, doesn't have shape as a mouth. Um, okay, and has big eyes, doesn't have big eyes. Again, it's best if you don't use characteristics that are considered opinions. In this case, these kind of are opinions, but smiley faces might have been a little hard. But mostly what I'm concerned with is that you can make it work. And this has the good look to it because you keep having branching characteristics and under there further branching characteristics until you get organisms identified by themselves. So we look at Smiley Beardus, doesn't have big eyes, has a shape for a mouth, and is a smiley face, right? That works. Personally, I would have used maybe instead of having big eyes and we get to Smiley Beardus, I would have used has a beard, doesn't have a beard, right? That would be a little easier. But in the case, let's look at the group that has big eyes, not made out of triangles, Smiley Boxus, and built from triangles, Smiley Triangulus. Okay? So again, this is semantics. It just makes it easier. I would have put not made out of triangles, made out of triangles, right? So that's more what you're trying to do. Okay? Let's look at down here. So doesn't have a shape as a mouth, has one eye, has more than one eye. Again, I would say has one eye, doesn't have one eye, although this is not wrong once again. Has a straight mouth, does not have a straight mouth. And then we get smiley cyclopsis, right? So if we want to check this backwards, we can follow the trail up. Smiley cyclopsis, which is here, does not have a straight mouth. It does not. Has one eye. Yes, it does have one eye. Doesn't have a shape as a mouth. I guess that's not a particular shape like this or this. And it's a smiley face, so that works. Okay? I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but that's the idea. And lastly, you had to put your smiley face into an A/B format. Okay? So there are certain ways to check your A/B format. One is that if you have 7 organisms, you're going to have 6 lines. They're all going to be filled out with an A and a B. And on the right side, you're either going to have a go-to, and you'll have go-tos when you have more than one characteristic branching off, and you'll have the name of an organism sometimes at the end, and that's when you know the organism has been classified. Okay? So let's follow this out a little bit and see how it works. So basically the first 1A and 1B should be has a shape for a mouth, does not have a shape for a mouth. And so when I look here, has a shape for a mouth, doesn't have a shape for a mouth. Okay, one group at a time. So I'm then going to write go to 2. Okay, I'm not going to worry about this yet. I know it says go to 4, but if I was building this, there would be nothing here. Okay, so has a shape for a mouth, go to 2. My next 2 characteristics are has big eyes, doesn't have big eyes. So I get 2A, has big eyes, and doesn't have big eyes. Okay, has big eyes, it should be go to 3. Not made out of triangles, built from triangles. Again, I'm not worrying about this right now. So has big eyes, go to 3. Built from triangles, not made out of triangles. Built from triangles is smiley triangulus, and not made of triangles is smiley boxes. Okay? So I know that we left off at doesn't have big eyes. So now I go back and I look, and doesn't have big eyes. There are no branches because there's only one name under it. So next to doesn't have big eyes, I should write smiley beardus. Remember, we skipped that a second ago. So I now write that in. And I go backward looking for my next blank. And my next blank, if I was building this, would be doesn't have a shape for a mouth. Okay? Because that was my next grouping. I now will write go to 4 because I've already finished all of these organisms on this side. I'm now going over to this side. Okay, my doesn't have a shape for a mouth is going to use up my next line, which is going to be go to 4. And I know it's going to say has one eye and has more than one eye. Let's take a look. Has one eye, has more than one eye. Again, I'm not trying to fill these both at one time. I'm looking at one group, and I'm going to has one eye, and I'll go to my next line, which in this case will be go to 5. Okay, let's see what should belong on the go to 5. Okay, has one eye, it should be does not have a straight mouth and has a straight mouth. Has a straight mouth, does not have a straight mouth. Under has a straight mouth is smiley confusus, and there it is. And under does not have a straight mouth is smiley cyclopsis, and there it is. I now work my way up, going to the other group that should not be filled in at this point. Obviously, this key is complete, so it is. But if I was building it, I would now go to the next group. So I would look at my has more than one eye, and I can see has facial hair and doesn't have facial hair. Those are two characteristics. I can't talk about them on one line. I need an A and a B, and my next available spot would be number 6. And I go to 6, and then there are my two characteristics: has facial hair on A and doesn't have facial hair on B. And has facial hair is smiley mustaches, while doesn't have facial hair is smiley simpleus. Okay? And that is how you were supposed to do this lab. I hope that was helpful.